Here we go. We're going to talk about spinning a head on a muddler, and I'm going to try to show you a few tips. Now this is deer hair. This happens to be a hairline primo deer hair. I'm looking for big muddlers, I'm looking for long hair. You really need to specify when you go into a fly shop. You need to get long hair, or if you're ordering it over the phone. Now I'm pulling out the under fur. Let me show you why hair length is important. I'm not going to stack this. I'm just going to put it on top there. And I'm going to start with a little bit fatter piece. Here we go. One of the tricky things about tying a muddler is after you spin on all this hair, how do you trim it? How do you sort out and not cut your good hairs? So I'm going to measure my hair. I haven't stacked it. And then in this case, I'm going to cut most of the butts off. And you'll see, okay, one wrap loose between my fingers, second wrap loose, and then I'm going to slowly start to apply pressure and watch it as it spins around the hook, and it actually went all the way around. You see what you got here? You got short hair and long hair. And that's going to help you separate between the two. Now the next one I'm going to do long hair, or short hair and long hair.
Tell me about that thread, Jay, because that was
nice. Yeah, thank you. This is the Mark Pettigene 8/0 thread, hair packer, hair stacker. Don't have to use one. You can use your fingers. This is kind of nice. This is a Daiichi 2141 ring eye. You push that back there, wrap at the base. If you wanted to, you could put a little bit of cement on there. Not really essential.
Now, some people really stress the bare hook.
I love the bare hook concept. I haven't figured out how to do it except for tying bombers.
So when you're, I mean, that's okay. I'm just when you are tying this next piece of hair on, is the hook bare, or do you have some thread on it?
I got thread on there,
and it's going good for you.
And it's going good. Okay. And I don't know how to do the bare hook if you've got a wing on.
Okay.
So you notice here, I trimmed off the tips and I evened up the butts. So I'm going to put this on, and again, this is going to one wrap loose, the next wrap just starting to tighten up, and we're kind of spinning that around. And I'll go through there, right through the middle of it, 2 or 3 times. I'll push this back a little bit.
So to me, that was just butts. Yep, both back and front were cut, and now we're developing the muddler head.
And what that's going to do is going to make it easier. I am pulling out the under fur. And another thing you can look for, now this first one, I'm going to use, to save time, I'm going to put the whole thing in, tips and all, because it's going to be easy to sort those out because they're so far forward. Now this is my third clump. I'm going to put on one more clump at the front. And I'll try to get just the right amount. If you put too much on, it's a little bit difficult to work with. Here we go. Moment of truth. I'm going to spin on there just fine. I separate those out. Now here comes a real fun part. You bring your thread forward. Now, I'm going to tie, if you have a whip finish tool, more power to you. I'm holding that deer hair out of the way, and I'm tying a hand-tied whip finish. 3 turns, and then holding the thread back here, pulling it tight. There you go. So that's spinning the hair. And we're going to come back in a minute and show you how to trim that. we spun this deer hair on it. Man, what a mess. But here's where we're going to go through what it's really like to trim this. So again, I got the tips on and I cut those butts short. That gives me an entry point to go in there. So the top of the fly, I just trim a little bit off. I like to tie for dry flies. Actually, I would fish the main stem of the Willamette below Oregon City for summer steelhead. I would not go to places like the North Umpqua because there are no actual summer steelhead that live there. I like a nice big bushy head. Not quite that bushy. But I want to take this down in stages. One of the reasons is you think you're getting this so nice and symmetrical, and then you look at it head on, it's completely crosswise. So I like to take it down, and this is actually going to be a little bit reminiscent of a bass popper head. I'm using tungsten carbide hair scissors, which, handily enough, the caddisfly actually carries in stock at all times. So at this point, now why do I like a big blocky head like this? You know, traditional muddlers have cone-shaped heads, and we're going to show you those in a little bit. A big head like this pushes a lot of water, makes a lot of disturbance. It has the potential, on occasion, of drawing Mr. Steelhead or Ms. Steelhead from some distance. So this is not rounded. This is squared. Actually got it pretty good here. Make it a little bit lower near the hook point, or the hook head, so it can ride like this.
Ride like what?
Okay, ride like with the nose down and the tail up, kind of.
Okay.
Just imagine this kind of making its way
skating
across.
along.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Skating across the river.
Okay.
Or just
Okay.
pushing waves of water. And a big fly like this, you dress this up with some dry fly dressing. You may pull it under. You just let it float for an instant, slack the line off, and it'll pop right back up, and you can push water again. So there you go. Blocky head looks kind of strange. If you like it smaller, cut it down smaller. But that's basically how you do it.